Only 5 people have done that, and Jay Rose is one of them.
And in the second half, he looked a little fatigued. And also, I want to give the Mavs defense a lot of credit that led to this frustration, because you and I both know, no KD, no Kyrie. He was expecting Houston MVP type numbers tonight.
Well, you're right. And now James Harden is 1 and 2 when he has to play without Kyrie and KD. But he couldn't do it all by himself. Meanwhile, Luka Doncic, he flirted with a triple-double in this one and played very well.
He's all NBA. He's established himself as one of the best players in this game because he can score in all levels. You see him doing it off the dribble, taking the contact from James Harden. It doesn't matter who the matchup is. Brown, you can come get a little bit of this too in the paint. Around the big fella, Claxton drops it off to Porzingis, but that also was the key. Porzingis playing inside.
Ooh, yeah, he had 18 points in this one. And how about this? He only shot 2 threes. And you mentioned it. If he plays a little more post-up, if he gets in the paint and is able to score, that could be a difference.
And it's okay. Some players can work inside and then work themselves out. And he took a heat check. He took a logo one. There it is.
There it is. It's almost off the graphic.
You see, there it is. But look at those 3 circles right in front of the rim.
Sure.
See, as long as the big fella getting those, that creates a level of balance that the Mavs are going to need.
And remember, Kristaps Porzingis, he had missed 3 straight games coming into this one. So it's great to see him have 18 points, shooting at 54% from the field.
Come on, KP, be like Pop and bring the smoke in the paint.
All right, let's talk about what we're going to see tomorrow, because we're going to be right here with you. We got plenty more matchups coming your way, and we've got one on ABC, we've got one on ESPN, but your Sunday showcase is going to be the Clippers and the Bucks. We got Kawhi, and we've got Giannis District in New York City, brought to you by Chase. I'm Maria Taylor alongside Adrian Wojnarowski. We also have Jalen Rose here, and you will hear from Paul Pierce soon. Obviously, he's standing by in our LA studios, but someone that you will not see tonight. It was just reported that Kyrie Irving will not be playing for the Nets, and that is the latest coming out of Brooklyn. Now, he's out for what is being called a right shoulder injury recovery. This is the 11th game that he will be missing, which includes an extended personal absence back in January for Kyrie. And now we welcome in Malika Andrews, who covers the Nets and reported the Kyrie news first for us. So, Malika, how are the Nets actually processing being without 2 stars in the lineup here tonight?
Well, Maria, Steve Nash told me that this is something that players now have gotten used to, having stars missing from this lineup. Steve Nash said that it happens so often that it doesn't even really faze the team anymore. And this is one of the luxuries of having James Harden, because as you know, not only are they missing Kyrie Irving, but they're also missing Kevin Durant. And James Harden told me yesterday that as frustrating as it is to be without a guy like Kevin and now Kyrie Irving as well, they have to keep in mind, Maria, that the most important stretch of the season has yet to come. And so in his mind, it is more important for those players to get healthy for this stretch after the All-Star break as they're marching toward the playoffs than it is to be available right now. That being said, what the Nets are saying Kyrie Irving is out for is just for maintenance. And so Steve Nash is counting on the fact this won't be a long-term absence.
All right, Malika. Well, obviously the big 3 have only played together for 7 games so far this season, and we're all counting on seeing them after the All-Star break. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the game, Malika.
Thanks, Maria.
All right, so let's talk about what the Nets are going to be missing tonight. Kyrie has scored at least 25 points on 60% shooting 8 times this season. That is the 4th most in games in the NBA, behind Zion, Giannis, and Zach LaVine. But Irving and Durant are both out, which leaves Harden all by himself. And Brooklyn is 1-1 this season when Harden is the only member of the big 3 playing. We've got a big 3 here in New York, but obviously we've got Paul Pierce checking in from LA. Welcome to the show, Paul. And Jalen, I actually do want to start with you on this, because we've seen inconsistencies in player availability all season long, whether it's health and safety protocols, injuries, rest. But how much concern do we have about it in Brooklyn with the new big 3 that's newly minted, playing together for the first time?
They have zero concern. And today, you're right, it won't be any KD, it won't be any Kyrie. It won't put any gray in the beard of James Harden. He's going to embrace this. It's going to be he versus Luka, mano a mano. We might as well have a wagers game tonight.
We should.
Who's going to have the most points, rebound, and assists? Play at home, because that's what today's game is going to be about. And so not missing Kyrie is not a panic situation, because they understand that they have a long-term goal, as Malika just talked about.
Let's talk about James Harden then, Paul Pierce, because during the 8-game winning streak, he's almost averaging a triple-double. Like, we've seen some of the best play. We wondered how he would change his game and fit into Brooklyn's process. What have you seen from him so far this season, especially when he's missing 2 stars alongside him?
Well, I've seen a guy that's jumped up and elevated to MVP status in my eyes right now. He is the MVP in the league as of today. No, as of today. I mean, they're on a 7-8 game winning streak, and we've seen what the Beard has been able to do, elevate not only himself but his teammates. The Nets are 1 game away from being in the top seed in the Eastern Conference. I don't see why we don't talk about this guy being an MVP, even though he does have Kyrie, even though he does have KD. But you got to remember, he's only played 7 games with those guys. They haven't had an 8-game winning streak all year long. And think about it, they've done this without KD. And so James Harden, to me, in my eyes, is the MVP as of today. Now, these things can change. You know, it goes week by week. But today, because of the numbers, because of the winning and how he's done it, today he's MVP.
Listen, I think Paul there's a real case to be had for that. When Brooklyn traded for James Harden, I think there were a lot of people who thought he would be a luxury with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. He has turned out to be a necessity, and here's especially why. The role he has taken over as playmaker, and he has done something that Kyrie Irving did not do in that role as point guard, and that's elevate his teammates. Joe Harris, Landry Shamet, Bruce Brown, those guys are playing at a much higher level, and I know this, in that locker room, they absolutely love playing with James Harden, and having Kyrie Irving off the ball has really benefited the broader group in Brooklyn.
Terrific point, Woj. It wasn't that Kyrie did not do, it's he doesn't have the ability to do. That's where James comes in. That's a terrific point. I've said this a couple of years ago. James Harden is the most unique offensive weapon that this league has seen. He's the only player at some point of his career, that's going to lead the league in a season in total points, total assists, free throws made, and/or 3-pointers made. That's a unique offensive weapon, the most unique this game has seen.
And you talk about his player or teammates playing even better. He leads the league in assist opportunities. His teammates are shooting 55% off of his passes. I mean, Uncle P, you're waving the flag for him to be MVP right now.
As of today, it can change now.
As of today. He's trying to put that caveat in there. But when Kevin Durant comes back to the court and these two are able to play together after we've seen what Harden is able to do, I mean, what does this team look like when you have KD and Harden playing at the level that we're seeing him play right now?
I mean, this is a dangerous team. You talk about 3 guys who you can go to down the stretch and close ball games. And we know come playoff games, you got guys, it comes down to the last minutes, and you got 3 guys who you can go through. They can not only get their own shot and create for others, they can get to the free throw line and knock it down with consistency. That's what makes them so dangerous, because if one of your stars is off, a lot of teams can afford to have one of their stars off that night, and they can. And they have other guys that can pick them up, a la Kyrie, KD, or Harden, whichever one is off that night. But since I've been watching them, I haven't seen none of them off at any point.
Yeah, and we talked about it. They've only played 7 games together, but right now the Nets lead the league in offensive efficiency, so it's been impressive. Hang out, guys. We still have to talk about the Mavs.